Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Bella. I'm a part-time reseller on eBay and Poshmark. I have my what sold from over the last 24 hours, and you're gonna see a common theme here. I may say it a few times that accepting offers was the name of the game for these last 24 hours, and I did sell 7 things, and I believe wholeheartedly that it was because I was really not saying no to any offers. So everything still, though, I was in profit. So that is great. And if you watch any other YouTubers, if you've been online at all on Facebook, following resellers, the last week on eBay for a lot of us has been super slow. So I was doing all the things to try and make things better, to get some sales going. And I do believe accepting offers, I was not countering. I don't think I countered any of these items. So at the end, I'll give you the grand total of what my profit was over the last 24 hours. And then we will just go from there. And sometimes I've been reselling since since my college days, so it was 2004. So I've been on eBay for a very long time, over 20 years. And sometimes you just have to accept offers. If you're hanging on to stuff because you think, oh, okay, I need to hang on to this because it may sell later. I have found that that's not always the best way to do things. So that's what you're going to see here. Let's get right into it. And if you are not subscribed, you should subscribe and check out all my videos of what I am selling and picking up. So, all right, let's get right into it. This is Land's End. I have not had this very long. I picked this up because it had floral prints to it. I got this at the Salvation Army, and typically in the wintertime, I am going to the Salvation Army. Well, it's not winter, but it's fall. And so once the sales have really slowed down, meaning like the church sales, the yard sales, I am hitting up the Salvation Army typically once a week, maybe every other week, just for them to reset their inventory. They have over 5,000 items hitting the sales floor at my particular Salvation Army per week. So I don't see a lot of the same inventory each week. And sometimes I'm looking, when I'm scanning the store and when I'm looking at items, like this week, the new tag was blue. And so what I was doing was kind of eyeing up what I like to see and what may be here next week, and that would be half off. So if I'm not absolutely crazy about the price on something, what I'll do is just kind of make a mental note. Okay, in the plus size women's section, there was a couple of really nice sweaters I liked, and I remember to go back and check that out and see if this week they were half price. So that is what happened for a few items yesterday when I went. I was not willing to pay, say, $8 full price at the Salvation Army for something, but I went back and $4 was definitely a lot more reasonable when it was half price. So yeah, and I did pick this up. It's a fall themed, and I received an offer last night for $13, and I did accept that offer. All of these sales were on eBay, and my estimated profit, there was a little bit of shipping overage, $11.48. So ideally this would have sold a bit more. I was maybe hoping for around 20, but sales, like I said, had been down this week, really for the last 7 days. And yesterday really picked up. And I don't know, if you're a seasoned eBay seller, you kind of know, like, if you want to pick things up and you're getting offers and you want your sales to start going, I have always been one that have found, like, monkey see, monkey do. I don't even know if that's the right analogy there, but if I accept an offer and, they pay for it And then a little bit later, another offer comes through. So over the years, just doing that and seeing that and keeping my cost of goods low, and that is really key. If I'm keeping my cost of goods low, it allows me to, in these droughts, when I have times that items aren't selling as quick as I would like them to, I can accept offers and move on. Like the item is going out the door and I'm still making a profit. So next up is this LL Bean new with tags, pink like crossover top. This is a Suprema cotton. I love LL Bean. I prefer like their more staple pieces, sweaters, cardigans, jackets, coats, snow pants. I love picking the snow pants up, but my area recently got an LL Bean, and my hopes are that our Salvation Army is super close to where the LL Bean store is. So I don't think they'll be donating a lot of stuff yet, but my hope is that they're going to start donating all the things that, you know, don't sell to the Salvation Army. And I have no idea if that's the case, but then I'm also thinking, you know, local people are going to have more LL Bean stuff because they don't have to either buy it online or go to a store out of town. So that's my hope. LL Bean is a great seller. They're really well known for outerwear, everything really. Don't they make sheets and comforters and all that stuff? So usually a good pickup. This was an even better pickup because it came from a church sale, new with tags. I probably honestly would have picked this up either way at the church sale if it had a tag or not, because it was just really in good shape. If it was in as good a shape and somebody had worn it once, I probably still would have picked it up. I just really like LL Bean. It's one of my bread and butter brands, probably one of my top 5 brands. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Like I said, I do prefer to pick up, they're more staple pieces, jackets and things like that, but a new with tags at a church sale, sign me up. That is a definite yes. So this top sold for $18.85. My estimated profit, $12.78. This was not a long item in my store. I would say I got this probably about 3 weeks ago at a church sale. So it is heading out the door quick. And I love, especially this time of year, to have, not a ton. If I can find it for a good price, new with tag items, I like to have this time of year, especially because we're coming into the holiday months. People are going to be shopping for friends and family and of course themselves. People are always shopping for themselves too. And I like to have a variety of new with tag stuff. And that could even be stuff from stores like Kohl's, JCPenney's, and things like that I find thrifting or at church sales, because those are also well-known brands. And typically I will not pay a lot for those kind of brands, but they're still going to sell as new with tag items, and people are looking for those deals coming into the holiday months where they have to buy Christmas presents, or holiday presents. Okay, this is a brand that I don't pick up regularly. I grabbed on a half price day at the Salvation Army. So this is an example of, I did receive an offer for this a couple weeks ago, a $10 offer. And I just did not, I'm like, no, I think I had $3 into this. And, typically when I'm going to the Salvation Army, I'm looking at around $3 to $4 cost of goods, which is a little bit high, but I try to only shop the half-priced items. And especially particularly in my area, and I don't know if this is the case for all Salvation Armies, other days of the Salvation Army, you can get one tagged item, they're 99 cents. So say the green tag maybe today is 99 cents. I believe it's whatever one they've had the longest. So that's also another opportunity to go and, try. I've done that before where I've challenged myself. I'm only finding 99-cent items today, and that is what I'm picking up. But this was not that, but I knew that this is a brand new cardigan from Karen Scott. There's the tag on it. So this is like a $50 cardigan. I don't pick up her stuff. I picked this up only because it was new with tags. It was also a good size. It's a 2XL. So I'm glad that I believe I never, what's the word? I never decline offers. I always counter. So I did counter, and I can't honestly remember what I countered for. Maybe it was $20. I did not receive, they did not buy the item ultimately. So, and I'm kind of glad that I did that because it sold for $22.75 on eBay. My estimated profit, $12.05. So I don't know, you have to kind of just weigh your options sometimes. You know, this is an example of something that I would not, you know, I was not comfortable accepting a $10 offer on this. I hadn't had it that long, and I always get a little nervous to counter because you just never know. And I feel like, honestly, 9 out of 10 times when I counter, they do not purchase. I don't know if they just have this figure in their mind and that is what they want. So I go into offers thinking that, like, they're probably not going to buy this if I counter. Am I comfortable countering and possibly hanging on to this item longer than I would like to? And this was an example of I wasn't comfortable with the offer, and I waited, and I'm glad I did. I knew this would sell coming into the colder months, especially in the Northeast. Just this week, we pretty much like shut our air conditioning off, like really within the last week. It has been very warm, and so nobody had the need for a sweater. Now, where is this going? This is going to Connecticut. So my thought is it's getting cold in Connecticut as well. And everybody is starting to look for those pieces that'll keep them warm this fall. So I'm happy with that. It's out the door, and we are on to the next. This one is going to be an example of I wanted to make some sales, so I accepted an offer. This had a lot of people looking at it. I had no buyers on this one yet. I've had this one up since like August 26th or 27th. This is J. Jill. This is a 2XL dress. I was so excited to find this. It was a new thrift store that I had not been to ever, and I was very excited to go. So they had a lot of great stuff, and I was very excited to just go in, and I might have overpaid a little bit just because they had good stuff that I knew was going to sell, and I've really been working my way through that whole entire haul that I got. They had J. Jill, they had, oh gosh, all kinds of stuff. What else? I think I got a couple of Eileen Fishers, but I did pay up. The cost of goods for the items that came from this thrift store were $4.31. So this dress, I accepted an offer of $15, which is kind of low. I might be slowing down a little bit on J. Jill. Let me know how J. Jill is doing for you. I love J. Jill. I pick it up probably about as much as I pick up Talbots, and you guys know I love Talbots. So I have just seen, though, I have a lot of J. Jill right now. And so even yesterday at half price day, I actually passed on a few J. Jill that I probably wouldn't have usually or normally because I have a lot right now. So, you know, the plus size stuff, though, overall, that is where the quicker sales are coming in with J. Jill for me. I had a really nice J. Jill corduroy button down that I got from the same exact thrift store that sold very quickly. So I'm, you know, thinking it's the plus size stuff is selling a lot better. And so that's what I'm leaning towards. Like yesterday, a lot of the stuff I was seeing was a size large or a size medium. So I did leave that behind. Maybe it'll even go lower for 99-cent day. So yeah, especially don't forget right now, you know, the last of, at least in my area, there's a huge church rummage sale tomorrow. This is a donation sale. So it is awesome. Like I'm looking online for those last fall sales, the rummage sales. I find that in the winter, and now I don't know, because my thought is, okay, if it's a church rummage sale and it's inside, why can't you do that in the winter too? But a lot of these church sales are put on by the older population in the churches, and I'm guessing, at least in my area, they don't want to be coming out in snowstorms, which makes sense. But so you want to be getting those last, you know, check out what's left in church sales. a lot of the church sales in my area do a spring and a fall sale. So I'm guessing that probably in your area that is the same. Let me know where those sales are for you. Is there just one big one a year, or is there multiple? So, okay, I don't know. I don't think I said what this dress sold for and what I profited. So if I did, I'm going to say it again, but I don't think I did. This sold for $15. There was a little bit of shipping overage. My estimated profit, $11.49. I mean, that's kind of the name of the game today. I've got a lot of $11 profits. I just, I think this is why the game, overall, like, the long-term resellers will tell you there are times like this. I don't want to come in here and rainbows and unicorns and we're selling everything for hundreds of dollars every day. That's not the case. I mean, I know that there are going to be times like this. And it's even to me that I've been doing this so long, I have over 18,000 sales on eBay. It really kind of makes you feel, not great. Like you want to be selling things. And, yesterday I was like, should I even go to the Salvation Army this week? Sales are kind of down, but the one thing, one of the main things is I just do keep listing. And I am conscious about the fact that if a week is slow, don't pick up as much maybe, but I also know that in order to keep the store moving, I need to be bringing in new items, new good inventory, and keeping things going. Because if I'm not listing, things aren't selling. I do at least list every day. I try to list 5 items a day, and I even try to do that on weekends so that, everything's still moving. And typically weekends are my best time. Yesterday, Wednesday, was a huge sale day for me. And I can only attribute that to accepting offers, and I'm keeping listing. So keep on listing is my biggest tip, even when things are not selling. Okay, 2XL Talbot's top, fleece, velvety feel. I picked up this last week at the Salvation Army. So it was listed exactly 1 week. And again, this is an example of something that I probably could have gotten a little bit more for. I accepted the offer because I was going to be in profit. It was out the door. It's kind of heavy. It takes up space in my inventory. And 1 week and I made a profit. So I am happy about that. So the Talbot's pullover sold for $15.25. My estimated profit, $11.13. So that would be a good example. If I had been having an amazing week, I probably would have countered on this. So just because I had only had it for 1 week, and because the color, it's this green, like hunter green, it's coming into these colder months, and hunter green in November and December, people are going to be like, that's a popular color for the holiday season. But I weighed my options. I knew around what I was going to make, and I said, sold, it's out the door. And yeah, I picked up a ton of Talbots last week at the Salvation Army for half price. So I had $3.75 into this. And it is what it is. I'm happy it's going out the door, and they paid right away, which I also like. And that's how it goes sometimes. And I think if you're a new seller and you can really get even a seasoned seller, and you can, not wrap your mind around, I need to make XYZ every single time, you'll be in this game of reselling a lot longer, because you'll realize that, and I also get my items compared to other places in the United States. I've seen like prices all over the place. Like my bins area is only $1.79 a pound. So that definitely helps. I hit a lot of church sales, which are like, I typically pay between $2 and under for any item. Maybe jackets have been $4 or $5 here and there. But so other than that, that is why I accept offers for lower prices, sometimes even when I don't want to, because I get these items for such a good price. An example of getting an item for a good price: my best friend went to a garage sale this summer and found like 8 pairs of jeans, which was super nice of her. And these are Maurice's. So what I'm gonna say about Maurice's is I do not pick it up for the most part. I was picking up like new with tag Maurice's, but even that sits for me. My best friend found these, like she found a couple of Gloria Vanderbilt jeans and a brand called Eve. I think it's EVEI. So I did end up listing a lot of these. She got them for like a quarter or something. And she just said, just take them, it's fine. And she brought them to me and it was so nice. So I definitely appreciate that. So these were free to me, and I probably just would not have picked them up, even though they are a great size. These are like 22 wide, I think. 22 women's, not wide, 22 regular. And it just, I was giving it a whirl to see, and I will do that. I will go back to brands that maybe before I would say, no, I'm not gonna do that. But she grabbed these for me. They were in excellent condition. I did list them about a month ago. So they sold for $14. My estimated profit with no money into it, $11.50. So I'm very, very grateful to her for thinking of me when she was out yard sailing. And some of the other ones, like the Eve ones I mentioned, I don't know, I may have them for a little while. The definite plus size of all of these they were plus size jeans. So that is the best thing going for them. I don't know why Maurice's has, I remember, it's probably been I have lost about 30 pounds in the last 6 months or so, but even before that, overall, I've lost 100 pounds since 2018. And I used to love Maurice's when I was like a size 18 to 20, 22. That would be the store that I would shop at. And I don't know, since then, it seemed like it was very popular back then, but now it doesn't seem like, at least on the reselling side of things, Maurice's does not sell for me if it's new with tags. It just sits for a very long time. And I do have the mindset like everything does sell eventually, but maybe not Maurice's. So yeah, don't forget to tell your friends what you do. You never know if they're gonna go to a garage sale and find quarter jeans for you and just be like, you know what, I wanna give these to you, which was very nice of her. And I appreciate it. I'm gonna take her out to breakfast with the profits from the jeans that sell. So, okay. Next up, recently, and the last item here, recently, I think it was Becky Park had mentioned Naturalizer shoes. She likes to pick those up and they sell for her well. So I was at the bins week and a half, this might have been last week's. So I just thought these were so cute at the bins. And look, like next to no wear on these. I'll show you the Naturalizer. And they have like a little velvety top to them. So really cute. These are like a size 8.5. So they cost me around $1.79 at the bins. And, they were sitting in a bin that had been through probably many of times. I typically, when I go into my bins, and what's nice about this bins that they don't do at the Pittsburgh bins is they rubber band the shoes together. So you don't have to be looking. Like sometimes there'll be some that maybe got like, I don't know, mixed up. But at this particular bins, typically all the shoes are rubber band together. So you're not looking around like, where is this UGG slipper? That happened to me in August at the Pittsburgh bins. And it was my daughter's size too. It was, darn it. But I just could not find it. It was like everywhere. So I grabbed these Naturalizer shoes, assuming they would sell around $20 in my desperate time to accept offers to get my store moving. Someone offered me $10 and I went like this, sold. Okay, so they sold for $10. And again, I had about $1.79 into these. There was a little bit of shipping overage. $8.03. So, hey, I got these last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and it got things moving because more stuff sold. So I am happy with that. I'm going to bag and those up after the video just so there's not like crinkling. I do a little bit of most of the time I'm just putting them in a clear bag and making sure they're not gonna like puncture the bag. I do not use boxes for my shoes. So, okay. So you made it this far and you want to know, in those desperate times, what did you make from all of these items? So overnight, with everything after my fees, cost of goods, all the fun stuff, or not so fun stuff, $78.46. That is great to me. I really enjoy days where I make between $65 and $75. And especially in a slow week, like it renewed my sense of hope and promise in eBay. So if you guys are experiencing low sales this week, don't get too discouraged. Go in, see if you need to, even if you like, right now you don't want to be spending money on inventory, maybe just go in, look at your items, see if there can be some things changed. Can you lower your prices even just 5 to 10% and see if that'll help move some items. I've done that time and time again as well. And usually the outcome is good when there have been multiple days of slow sales. So, all right, friends, that is everything for today. And I hope I'll be back soon with more what solds. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and send this video to a friend because thrifting is better with friends. And I put out about 2 to 5 videos per week, all about what's selling on eBay and Poshmark. So thank you, friends. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.